Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got the tank review for the brand new Western Alliance Era 2 Premium Light Tank, the Marder VTS1. Now this is a light tank that does look very much like the TCM AGS, but it's actually a light tank in Era 2 with the Leopard 1 gun from Era 2, and this chassis which can go backwards as fast as it can go forwards, which is quite the meme that you get from stuff like the Alvis Stormer and the Jaguar and stuff like that. And it's a light tank, right? But in its heart, it's a tank destroyer. It's definitely not a light tank. It's definitely a tank destroyer. If you're going to play this thing, play it like a tank destroyer, because this tank is all about this gun and getting this gun working. It's a pretty damn good gun statistically, although it does like to miss some shots, and you might see that in some of the replays. But the mobility of it, you put it in position to flank and spank, keep farming away with this gun, and you'll have a great time, because it does have fantastic camo as well. And you want to try and keep it away from the machine guns, because they go and all of your hit points disappear, which is not a good time. But on the whole, I've actually enjoyed playing this tank. I do think it is a pretty damn good tank. You can work people over with the fantastic DPM, the really good gun, the good camo. You've just got to be careful not to get caught out with it, and not to think you are a light tank, therefore you can just run and gun and YOLO in front of lots of people, because you won't be able to do that, because this tank just can't. It can't do that like most other light tanks in Era 2. So without further ado, let's get into the statistics of the Marder VTS1. And in this tank, you've got a 600 horsepower engine with a 74.2 km/h top speed and a 74.2 km/h reverse speed, which is a 21.13 horsepower per ton ratio. Yeah, you do hit this. It's a little bit sluggish off the mark, but you do get up to that top speed pretty easily. And then you can also get up to 74 km/h reversing as well. Now, it does hit that top speed in reverse, but it's a little bit slower, naturally, reversing up to that top speed than it is just driving forward into it. It's not like stuff like the Jaguar 1, for example, is just as fast at accelerating backwards as it is at going forwards. It's not quite the case with the VTS1. It's a little bit slower when you reverse, but you can hit that top speed. You've got a 10% internal fire chance, which is on the low end of fire chances, which is pretty good. You're at 2.5k HP, which means you've got a decent slab of hit points to be able to trade with in Era 2. You've got 36 degrees a second hull rotation speed, which is a little bit slower, which is actually something you could help out with clutch braking if you want. It's down to you. I've got a 1.1 soft terrain, 0.5 on medium, and 0.45 on firm. Terrain resistances are absolutely fantastic. You do not need to worry about those whatsoever. They will not hold you back. You've got 279 meters of steel can concealment on this tank, which is really good. And again, you run food. You run smoke. You run the camo perk, etc. And the camo net. You'll get it down to about 168 meters of steel concealment, which is lovely. Means that you can farm quite happily and not get spotted very easily in a lot of maps, which is glorious. You got 530 meters of view range as well, which is actually pretty good for an Era 2 tank. Means you'll be able to spot quite a bit with this tank if you want to play it like a light tank. Like I say, I wouldn't personally, but yeah. You've got 50 degrees a second turret rotation speed, which doesn't actually have a turret, it has a gun. But 50 degrees a second turret rotation speed, which is great, means you can snap the gun round really quickly. You got 1.4 accuracy during rotation, which is really not very good. A 10.5 degrees of elevation, which can hold you back a little bit. You've got to be very careful with its elevation. And 9 degrees of gun depression, which is fine. It means you can use a ridgeline really quite well for this tank. You've got a 7.5 second reload, 8 rounds a minute rate of fire, which is 3.6, nearly 3.7k DPM, which is lovely. This tank fires very quickly, which is great. You got 0.28 base accuracy as well, which is fantastic, and a 3.32 meters accuracy during movement. This is why you want to run a gun stabilizer on this tank. The accuracy during movement and rotation is not very good, realistically, for this type of tank. You want to help that if you can with a gun stabilizer. But you do have a 1.7 second aim time, and that is filthily great. It means the aim circle just goes, and you're ready to go. You have 2 rounds of APFS DS and HESH. You've got 449 penetration on the AP, or should I say on the APFS DS, the standard round. You got 505 penetration on the premium round, and 250 pen on the HESH round. The HESH round is fantastic. If you can use it, you can abuse it really quite easily against a lot of low armoured tanks, especially the YOLO light tanks that might YOLO you. You can dish out some mega damage at 570. You do have 460 alpha as well on those APFS DS. You got 1455 meters a second shell velocity on the standard APFSDS, 1478 on the premium, and 737 on the HE. So just bear in mind that if you do load the HESH, the shell velocity is pretty atrocious compared to the two standard rounds. You really have to adjust for it. And in terms of your bonuses, you have 155% silver bonus with 115 XP, well, 15% XP bonus and 15% Commander XP bonus as well on this VTS1. So yeah, the one thing I want to highlight is that this tank is very much like the Malo, and like a lot of the other tanks, like the, what's the other one? TCM AGS is the same as well, that the gun is not a hitbox. So you can hit it, you hit this gun and hit this little turret block here, you will probably break the gun, but on the whole, you cannot damage this tank through this section here. Okay, so do not shoot it there because you will not damage it. So this thing is good for going behind a cover where, you know, this hull is covered behind a ridgeline, and then shooting over it with just this gun, because then you can go hull down and you won't take any damage whatsoever. So yeah, if you see one of these things and you just see the gun, don't try shooting the gun because you won't do any damage whatsoever. Okay. So in terms of a crew, I run, if we go shift it into the VTS1 from the Bradley, say I do run on this crew, Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Situational Awareness, Rapid Aim, Camouflage Expertise, Running Gun, Snapshot, Steady Aim. The 3 gun perks, because like I say, this tank is definitely a TD as opposed to being a light tank like it's classed. You want to make this gun as good as it can be, and I'm taking these two especially because the on the move and during turret rotation accuracy is just not very good. Those statistics are very, very high, so you want to help this out as much as you can. Steady Aim to make the gun 10% better as always. Camouflage Expertise just to make the camo better because you want to make that a little bit nicer. And then Rapid Aim because I want to make it so that when I'm fixed in a location, I can turn the turret and get the turret snapped on target really, really quickly. But because the turret rotation is 50 degrees a second and really, really good, you could quite happily change that out for clutch braking to try and get your clutch braking way better, because this thing doesn't turn very quickly, so you could definitely do that instead if you want to. There's many different ways of setting up the tank, like you could definitely drop Rapid Aim as well instead of that for muffled shot to reduce the effect of firing on your camo so you can stay more stealthy. You could run Trap Mechanic in case of getting tracked, Mark Target to make sure that tanks stay detected for 3 seconds longer because you are that light tank. You know, it's up to you. It's completely down to how you want to play the tank. I just have it so that I can snap the turret round a little bit quicker and get the gun on target and get firing faster, essentially, is why I run like that. And in terms of equipment, well, I run smoke because I want that bonus to my camouflage, which is why I run it. And I do accidentally activate it sometimes, and I'm like, oh, I thought I had food. But anyway, I run the advanced loader to make the DPM fantastic. The gun stabilizer, because like I say, the on the move and turret rotation accuracy is not that great, so you want to help it. And the camouflage net to make the camo absolutely phenomenal. If you're not that bothered about the camo because it's Cold War and you think, oh, well, they can see me with true vision, you could run the traction system instead to help that track traverse and get that better and also have a better top speed. It's completely down to you and how you want to set up your tank, but having that camo be so good is great because it takes them forever to be able to get to, you know, target you and find you, and then you can farm a lot of HP before they realise essentially doing that, and it takes, obviously it makes it so that you don't get spotted for a lot longer. But that's why I run that. And then in terms of the statistics, while it's fully equipped out, you can now see that we have slightly better terrain resistances because of the Born Leader. We've got 168 meters of steel concealment, which is really, really stealthy. We've got 589 meters of view range, which is pretty good. We've got 57.89 degrees a second turret rotation speed now. It whips round on this chassis, which is why I have it like that. We've got 0.95 accuracy during rotation, which is still not that great, realistically, for Era 2, some of the Era 2 tanks, especially more tanky, destroyer-y type tanks. I think I just made that word up, but hey-ho. We've got 5.76 second reload, which is really, really good, which gives us a 4.8k DPM, which is, like I say, absolutely fantastic. You've got 0.24 base accuracy, which is really great. You've got 2.02 accuracy during movement, like I say, which is not that good, realistically. Once you're getting in below 2, that's where it's starting to get, like, this is quite nice. The accuracy on this tank during movement and turning the turret is really, it struggles sometimes. You've got 1.63 second aim time, which is lovely. Like I say, the gun gets aimed in very, very quickly. And yeah, that's the statistics of this tank while it's fully equipped And yeah, let's have a quick look actually at the modules. So there's the ammo racks for you. If you ever look at this thing, you want to try and know where the ammo racks are. There's the ammo racks. And there's the crew. It is a 3-crew setup. And there's the engine block. So more than likely, if you shoot it in the front on the left-hand side, if you're looking at it, you could set it on fire, but it obviously does have a low fire chance, so it's quite difficult to do it. But yeah, that's the Marder VTS1. It's, let's say, it's a pretty good tank destroyer. I know it's a light tank, but I will just refer to it as a tank destroyer because I really feel like that is its playstyle. And to be honest, in Cold War, in Era 2 and Era 3, none of the tanks are really right with their classifications because obviously they're all MBTs, IFVs, etc, 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 because heavy tank, medium tank, light tank doctrine had gone out the window by the point we're talking towards the late end of Era 2 and towards Era 3, right? So it's basically a tank destroyer. It is a pretty damn solid tank, like I say. It's got a really good gun, really good DPM. You can farm away with it. And is it worth it? Well, that's down to you whether you enjoy this sort of playstyle on this tank. I do think it is very good if you do enjoy this playstyle. And I'm going to send you over to the replays where you can watch it for yourself, make your own mind up on how it handles, and you can see how it does. So as always, everybody, I'll see you in the replays. So here we are in the replays with the VTS1, and we are on Sunset Coast. So on Sunset Coast, I was thinking, at the start of this battle, that I might charge up the 1-2 line. I thought maybe charge up the 1-2 line, get up to C1, and then I could shoot down towards their cap. But I decided against it and thought, you know what, actually, I'm going to do what I will normally do on this map, which is if we get the spawn we get, that is charged straight down the JK, straight in towards the corner at about K9, and that way I can wrap around the back of the enemy team and get towards their cap. Because what tends to happen is no one really goes this way. And it means that you can get back behind the enemy team quite quickly. Because as you can see, already quite a few of their tanks have been spotted in that northern area. And it tends to be that they all seem to go around the middle at E6 and along the BC line. So you can usually get around here unhindered. But as you can see, I go, oh no, that's a Leopard and an AMX-30B. I don't like the AMX-30B because that gun go brrrr. So we pop smoke, which is exactly why you like running smoke. And we are going backwards at full tilt. You can see this is where going backwards at your top speed is fantastic. We got up to like nearly 70 kilometers an hour there and we were flying. But we're now here to help. You can see the camo and how good that is. They are not very far away from us whatsoever, and they just couldn't see us until we fired. Naturally, they could see us because true vision. But people in this game, especially obviously in Cold War, are a lot more likely to focus something that's spotted than they are something that isn't spotted. Because they can see the outline, they can see the tanks easier, they can see what they're shooting at a little bit easier, and they are far more likely to shoot that tank than they are the tank that's not spotted. So that's why it's nice to have the camo up where you can get it to. So we flanked round, we got shot into the 30B2, and unfortunately the 30B2 decided that we were the ones that needed to get shot at, and he ended up machine gunning us, and again, it's the light tank problem against those machine guns that stuff like the BMP2 has, the MX-30, etc., in that they absolutely shred the poor thing. They go right through this thing, and your hit points will evaporate very, very quickly if you are not careful in a tank like this against something like the MX-30B2 with its machine gun. And we're down to 980 HP, which is not a good time. We aim up the shot the M103, and that shot misses. Again, I mean, it wasn't fully aimed, really, but that's what I mean by the gun being really good on paper, but loving to miss. It can be pretty damn frustrating at times, and we didn't actually get to pen that M103 because the other shot actually tracked it as well. The MX-13 SS11 missed his ATGM towards us, which is very lucky because I didn't realise he was there. We go for the tracking shot, which we get him. He gets set on fire, just going for the free aim shot, which flies straight in too, and the MX-13 SS11 gets shut down. The FV4211 is right there in front of us, and that's where I popped smoke by accident. I didn't mean to. I thought I was like, pop food and get the reload. Oh. Oops, I had smoke. And, yeah, hands up if you've done that one. Yeah, I do that all the time. I go, oh, I've got food. Presses B. Why did a smoke green pop out? Oh, oops. As I feel bad because I block the vision for my entire team who were farming. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean it. I just suck. And it is what it is. So right here is camo. Camo is beautiful. These two are never... Well, we get spotted there, but we get spotted because of that 30B2 4-ad. But those guys would never look at me. I'd be able to keep getting free shots at those guys, and they would probably have never looked at me. Why? Because they had two guys directly in front of them who were spotted. If I'd got spotted towards the back, they could see that I had low health, there's a likelihood they might have just turned and shot me, right? But because I couldn't get spotted and they had people directly in front of them, they would never bother looking at me. And that, again, that's where camo can be damn valuable in Cold War. We're up to 5k damage, and we're just trying to get some shots into this Leopard 2AV. We're getting so unlucky with some of our shots here. Like, the people crossing just at the wrong moment and shots not flying where they should. Sad times. But we get a shot into the 30B2 4-ad, and I go, okay, this man, I want to get a shot into him if I can, but we can shut down the 13SS11. It's like, oh, goodness me, he's coming for me. Oh, no. And the machine gun's out to play, and he shuts us down. And unfortunately, we do get shut down there, and we lose the game. Sad, sad times there for the old VTS1, but finished the game with 6k damage, 1100 assistance, the second class, the 794 base XP on a loss. Sad times with the VTS1, but a fairly average game there for this tank on Sunset Coast. And we're on to the second replay. The second replay of 5, because yes, we've got 5 helpings of gameplay for you on this VTS1. And we're on this map, which is Swamp. And on Swamp, what we're going to do is we are probably going to charge straight down to F8, because I want to get onto that ridgeline. I can get hull down, I can spot the people that might be sat at H6, and we can get some lovely assistance and push out some damage, which is always quite nice. And we can go hull down as well and do what I said earlier on, which is I can poke my gun above the ridgeline, and that's all they'll be able to see, and they won't be able to do any damage to me because they'll only see my gun, which is, you know, sad times for them, good times for me, and means that, hey, that's the way you want to be doing it in the VTS1. So we're up to 441 damage so far because we managed to get a shot in. And I'm just thinking, do I want to advance onto the Object 120? We managed to get a shot in towards the medium tanks on the right. Now we've moved up to attack this Object 120, and it's like, you know what, actually, I've still got shots of these people. Pixel shot, by the way, look at this. Oh, can we get it? Can we get it? There it is. Oh, score! That's pixel shots right there. Beautiful scenes. Does that happen all the time? No. And you're going to see it in this game. This gun in action. We hit that, bear in mind, we hit that pixel shot. That's the .24 accuracy or whatever it is in action. Some of the shots we're going to miss in this game is the epitome of what this gun is like. It loves to miss shots sometimes. And it's really frustrating for saying how accurate this gun actually is. So we've pushed aggressively onto this ledge here at E4, because we can shoot towards the little light tank, the Stingray, the T-72, but then we can push over and try and start to get some shots into the enemy team that are pushed in towards where we spawned. So we try and get a shot towards the Stingray, and unfortunately the gun missed. Now we've got the friends on our right that are starting to try and get shots at us, just looking for a shot into the Magak 3 but can't find it. It's like, oh, hang on a minute, there's a 13SS11, hello bro. We get a shot into the back end of the 13SS11. I was hoping to possibly track and pen it, but it didn't go like that. And he's off on his jolly way, and we couldn't see him on his escape. So what we're going to do is push up, because there's a heavy tank at D3, and what I want to do is try and help this light tank out against the heavy. But as we poke over, there's actually a BMP2 here, and it's like, hello, Mr. BMP2. We get a shot into the back of him. Now we're going over to try and, again, like I said, get rid of this BMP2, help where I can. Then we start getting machine gun from behind. It's like, nope, not doing that. And he is still chasing us, trying to get machine gun as this 30B. We unfortunately ricochet off the 30B, and he is mincing our hit points, but he is also getting his own hit points rinsed because he charged after me into most of my team, and the 30B gets shut down. Like I say, light tanks, an MX-30B, 20mm autocannons don't mix. It goes very, very badly when the tank starts to go brrrr, and pain ensures that your game will end very quickly. So we'll go for a shot towards this M60A1. Thankfully, the shot goes in through the smoke. There's a chance to kill him now. I'm hoping to kill him. Go through the upper plate, and we didn't kill it. He had like 410 hit points. I got 460 alpha. How did I roll for 400? Game. I see what you did. You denied me my kill, game. Damn you. Damn you. It is what it is. RNG's a cruel mistress sometimes. It giveth and it taketh. We saw it give us with that pixel shot, and then it took us with a lot of the shots in this game. So we go for the RBRT into that T72M1. It misses. Aim the shot towards the T72M1. It misses. It's like, okay, okay. Fully aim the shot into him this time. It flies true and pens the T72M1. There's 4 tanks left. There's this VTS1 and the rest of them. We missed the shot on that VTS1, but that was less likely to hit. Just moving in, aiming the shot towards him. We hit the one spot. The one spot on the VTS1. We had the whole VTS1. We hit the one spot we couldn't pen, and that was the gun. Thank you, RNG. Love you too, bro. We're going to try and get the kill on the 2AV. Unfortunately, we miss. The VTS1 goes charging. It's like, hello, Mr. VTS1, I'm going to get you this time. We put the shot in, sets him on fire, and he gets shut down. Now with the 13 SS11 charging, it's like, hello, we shoot him once. We're waiting for the reload now to try and shoot him again. We pop the shot in, set him on fire, another one, and finish off with the fire. RNG giveth, RNG taketh. And we finish the game with 5.5k damage. The epic victory. 2 kills, 2nd place, 230 assistance, little bit, 150k silver, which is quite nice. The 2nd class, yeah, 1281 base XP again. Another fairly average game there for the VTS1, where the gun just misbehaves. And it's like, nah, you know what? No. I don't feel like hitting those shots. Screw you. Screw you is what the gun says to me sometimes, and it makes me very sad. Makes me a very sad panda. But we're on to the 3rd replay, and this 3rd replay is on the brand new map. We're on Azure Coast, and of course we're going to go through the tunnel, because secret tunnel, and we're going to go to the beach. And yeah, don't question my driving, okay? It's fantastic. So we're going to go towards the beach, because there's a big open swathe of space, and hopefully we can see down the beach, get some shots at people that might be camping towards their base, because in Era 2 there seems to be a fair few people that will camp next to the lighthouse, and you can get free shots of them. And plus we want to obviously support our platoon mates here to try and get the shots in. So we get a nice shot there into the BMP2, who then gets ATGM'd. He's about to die, and, well, it's curtains for that poor BMT2. He's just stuck into basically most of our team. But a lot of their team are here as well, because obviously a lot of people do like coming to the beach. Because there's a lovely beach party always going off, and it's a great time. We get a shot into the cupola there of the AMX-30B. We've just got to be careful of this guy naturally again, because we don't want to get machine gunned. And lovely, for me, he is sitting still, so he's giving us free shots into that cupola. We snapped the shot there into that T-72. I say, this gun, sometimes, it is the most beautiful thing on the earth. And we saw that again with that pixel shot. And sometimes it's like, nah, I'm going to miss, because screw you. So we get the shot in to finish off the AMX-30. Now, I'm just being careful. I'm always ready to run to the rock, always, to get myself safe, because I don't want to get shut down here. We get a nice shot through the turret there of the T-72. The FV4211 is something that I do want to get rid of, but I've just got to be careful. And here we see the guys that are sitting towards the back. So we get a nice shot there into the M103A2. And we're just going to poke out the other side of the rock now to start trying to get some free shots into them. So we aim the shot towards the 30B2, and we get rid of him because we wanted to get guns out the game. No point going for damage when you can get guns out the game. We've now got a shot towards the M103A2, who misses his shot on us. We know we've got very good DPM, so we fire a shot into his back end, which tracks him in place. We see the Object 120. We also see the BMP at the back, but I'm determined to kill the M103A2. We're just looking towards the Object 120, because naturally I don't want to get shot by him. We noticed the T-72A, so we shut him down. And there we see the BMP, and we saw a rocket incoming. It's like, no, rocket. Thank goodness me, that missed. And, yeah, the BMP thankfully missed us with that rocket. Teak tried his best to get us killed there. Damn you, Teak. And you can see him, the BMP. We're just trying to get some shots in, but unfortunately, the gun just isn't working. It just be like, nah. And I'm saying, look, there is a Object 120 back there. I'm going to change up the angle so I can see if I can see him. We get the shot in to finish the Type 80-2. It's like, oh, hello, Mr. Object 120. And thankfully, he's actually a one-shot for us. So we shoot him there, shut him down, get our 6th kill of the game. And we're up to 5.7k damage and 1,794 assistance. And we're just looking for that BMP now. Because, again, we know the BMP was somewhere over there near the lighthouse. And I want to try and get him if I can. There is a light tank spotted at E3, and they are running around like lunatics. There's a medium tank towards our base, but I'm thinking, okay, the BMP was over here towards this lighthouse. There's a great possibility that he's probably already run off by now, but we're just going to sweep it out anyway, right? We're just going to make the clean sweep. We're just going to make sure that there's definitely no one here, because you always want to make sure. You never want to leave it with any doubt, because you might end up going, oh, he's not going to be there anymore, run away, and then find, oh, he was still there. But as you can see, the BMP has actually managed to get away. So we're basically going to go back towards our base to see if we can help defend it. The 2 light tanks have both been shut down now. There's only 3 tanks left, and they are all towards our cap. So we're just going to use the good mobility that this VTS1 has and get across to that base. And you're going to see it. The mobility is nice. You get 74 kilometers an hour. Naturally, if you were to put a traction system on this, you would get it up to 81 kilometers an hour, which would be very, very good. But it's down to you and how you want to set it up. I just feel like because the gun handling can be really troll. I want to make sure that bloom isn't as big, is not massive, because the on the move and accuracy dispersions are pretty bad. So that's why I want to run the gun stabilizer. Naturally, you're always going to run the rammer, because the DPM on this thing is fantastic, and you want to make the DPM fantastic. And the camo, like I said, the camo is a great asset for the tank, and I just want to make it better by running the camo net. But you could run something like traction system if you wanted to, if you just want to have that speed and the better track traverse, naturally, because the track traverse isn't the best, and you're a fairly long chassis, so it takes a little bit to get the tank turned around. So there's 1 tank left on the enemy team. It is the rock crawler. He's getting swarmed. I'm thinking, am I going to get the kill here? We go for the RBRT, but unfortunately we hit our friendly tank. Waiting for the reload. It's like, come on, come on, come on, come on. I want to yoink. Yoink. Let's go. We nick the kill, and we end up finishing with the game with 5.8k damage, the 1794 assistance, the victory, 7 kills, good amount of credits, 161,000, the Western firepower for 7 kills with an Era 2 Western Alliance tank, the first class, the Top Gun. Really nice game there for the VTS1. And now we're on to what is probably the second best game I've had in the tank, and that is, we are on this map, which is Thiepval Ridge. We're on Thiepval Ridge, and on Thiepval Ridge what I'm going to do is something that's a little bit risky on Thiepval, and that is we're going to push to E9. And it's a little bit risky on Thiepval in Cold War, Era 2, because a lot of their team might go sit on the hill at E9, and we spot them, they see me, they full send. And that happens a lot in Era 2. And if they'll full send, they'll lose a lot of hit points, but you'll be dead. And it's something you've got to be very, very careful of if you do make this push. But if they don't send too many this way, it can be a great spot to take, because you can snipe across the 1-2 line, and you can also spot towards their spawn and get a good amount of assistance that way. And also, it's just, this spot on the hill is a good spot to take for being able to get shots. So we end up spotting the Ignis Pagatio there, and he's making a little spotting run. We start to get detected, so I decide, okay, I'm going to make a run backwards to make it hard for anything to try and get shots at us. But we actually have shots across the way. And this is where we're going to activate tank sniper mode, because we're just going to start having to push the shots out as a tank destroyer, because that's what we've got to do. We've got to get this gun singing. So we're just trying to hit these shots at this distance. I mean, how far away are these guys? These guys are pretty damn far away. 600 meters away. So we find this M103A2. We get a shot into his back end, which tracks him in place. And I'm like, oh, wait, we tracked him. Can we perma-track him? This is why you want to take track mechanic on some tanks, because we actually have this guy perma-tracked. If he had track mechanic, there's a likelihood that he wouldn't be perma-tracked there. But we actually moved our aim. I don't know why I did that, to be honest. We ended up moving our aim, which meant that we weren't actually tracking him anymore. But we did manage to finish him off. Going for shots now into the WZ-1224. And unfortunately, we ricocheted there. I think we hit his upper plate. The Ignis Pagatio is coming in. So we get a shot into the Ignis. We start getting shot at from the left. So we pop smoke to our left so that they can't hit us. And we're trying our best to just keep shots flying into the Ignis. And unfortunately, it was a poorly aimed shot into that rock there, which meant that the Ignis could get away. But yeah, if you're getting shot at from the left and you're trying to shoot something that's more immediate to your danger, always best to pop smoke towards them so that you're safe from the guys that are shooting at you, and then you can try and get rid of what is the danger. So once again, we're up to 3.3k damage, and we are just trying our best to support our team, which is in the distance. We get a nice shot there into the Scorpion 90. We're just farming as much as we can. The Scorpion 90 starts to drop down, so we should have aimed lower there to get the shot in, but it is what it is, so we missed that. The BMP, I thought might turn left, but he didn't, so we end up missing the BMP. And it's quite difficult at this range to be able to get shots on tanks that are moving in some decent speed, because, obviously, these guys are 900 meters away. If they make even the slightest adjustment, my shell has quite a travel time to get over there, and thus, you know, it's quite easy that it is going to miss. It's always best to try and shoot the people that are stationary, because they're the ones that are easier to farm. And we're getting shots now into this BMP2. It'd be nice to get rid of the light tanks if we could, because obviously they've got very good autocannons, but also very good ATGMs, and we don't want those ATGMs to come back to haunt us. And also, obviously, they are firing ATGMs at our teammates. We don't want them to be firing ATGMs at our teammates, because it's, well, you know, going to hurt them quite significantly. So we see the M60. The M60 is now in a position that's a bit dodgy, but the Ignis Pagatio comes back out. He starts shooting my SS11, so it's like, okay, Mr. SS11, I'm going to try and help you. We'll put ourselves between the Ignis Pagatio and the 13 SS11 so that it makes it as difficult as possible for him to shoot. We get a shot into him there, and unfortunately, I misjudged which way the Ignis was going to go, and we ended up missing the ram, which is fully what I was going for, which means that we couldn't kill him, and we took a fair few more shots there off of that Ignis, which is sad times. I wish I hadn't misjudged that, because we needed those hit points. But we're up to 6.3k damage. It's like, Mr. Ignis, you are not getting away, my son. It's not happening. It's not allowed. So, good night. And we get rid of the Ignis Pagatio. Now we've got shots towards the M60. So what we're going to do is reverse out so we've got some easy shots into his cupola if we can. Just seeing if we can see anyone else. He's sitting still there, so we get a shot straight through the cupola of the M60. Just waiting on the reload so that we can shut this guy down. But he starts to move. Aim it, and unfortunately we end up missing the shot on that guy. They do only have 4 tanks left on the enemy team, so what we're going to do is climb the hill. We're going to climb the hill so we have a place to shoot down on the medium tank and the heavy tank, because that way, again, maybe there's a chance that they'll only be able to see my gun as I look over the ridgeline. The Chieftain Mark 5 is being pushed by my team, so we can see his outline, but I can't quite see him. So instead we're going to focus on the T-72-8, who is directly below us, who is in a position that I can just farm from here. We do have to be careful, though, because he is looking at us, and I don't really want to take the hit if I can help it. The sort of tank on my left basically took a shot from an ATGM, and I thought the BMP was on my right, hiding away at like A9, but in fact the BMP is actually over there. We get a nice shot snapped into him. Now we're going for the shot into the T-72A to help out my heavy tank friend, and the 4211 shuts down the T-72A, looking for the kill shot on the Chieftain, which flies in, and we shut him down. And right now, that was the end of my game, realistically, because there's another 2.5 minutes of driving where we go after the BMP and get nowhere near it, so I'm going to save you that. I finished the game with 3 kills, 8.8k damage, 763 assistance, the second class, the Confederate, the high caliber, 1427 base XP, a really nice game there for the VTS1, and like I say, that was the second best game I've had in this tank, and this is the very first game I played in the VTS1, and it's the best game that I've had in the tank so far. This is the very first game. We're on Erlenberg, and it's like, well, you know what? Okay, we're going to look for the tanks that are on the move on Erlenberg. And once again, I thought I had food, and I popped smoke. You absolute fool. Really annoying because we end up obscuring our own vision, but actually it helps our team a little bit because they get to make the cross safely. But now we are trying our best to use the smoke to stay safe from the people looking across towards us, and we're just going to keep this gun firing. We get a nice shot into the FV4211 there, and we keep ourselves moving so that we're not getting return fired, because obviously we don't want to lose too many hit points. Go for the shot into the TR-580, and it flies true. I say, this distance, the gun is pretty damn nice. It just sometimes it decides, you know what, I don't fancy hitting any of those shots that you were firing, so, no. Hit the floor. It does do that. But look at that. We aim for the drive wheel of the FV4211 we can see in the distance. It flies true and straight in. Unfortunately, that one ricochets because he moves. But we now have shots into the side of the M60A3 that's up on top of the ridgeline. Aim for the back end because we can damage the fuel tanks and hopefully set it on fire, but we don't set it on fire. He's now a one-shot for us potentially. We've put the shot in, and luckily it flew to the far left of where I was aiming and finished off the M60A1 because that was a big chance that that would have missed because it was poorly aimed. We're now scanning the ridgeline to see if we can see any more of those guys. We can actually see the TR there. So we put a shot straight through the TR's turret. We could just see the TR's turret. It's quite a nice shot there. But we see a tank that is sitting on the ridgeline. And unfortunately, it misses. And it's like, okay, we fully aimed the shot. Well, it wasn't quite fully aimed, but it misses. It's like, come on, gun. Come on. Fully aim it this time. It misses. This gun sometimes, it can hit 4211 tracks at like nearly 1,000 meters, but all of a sudden, stationary targets, it will start hitting the floor. Finally, we get a shot in, damages the ammo rack of the Type 79. Now we know what it is. He's still staying still, so we fire again. Oh, there goes his ammo rack. Pop his ammo rack for 1,500 damage at 1,000 meters. Beautiful scenes. And we're up to 5.6k damage. I'm now just watching the house there to see if there was anyone there. And I thought, I wonder if anyone's coming across the bridge along the A-line. It was like my spidey sensors tingled. And we actually find the Sheridan. It's like, hello, Mr. Sheridan. We get a shot through that guy. And we're just trying to pop a shot at him blind through the smoke in case he was trying to get away. There we go. We go for the shot towards his back end. I was kind of hoping to track him there. But unfortunately, it ends up missing. He's now got himself into a safe location, and sadly, that means we can't get any more shots at that guy where he is. We're just going to keep watching for him, though. We see him poke up, and unfortunately, we just missed the shell there, and then he sits himself in a position where we could have killed it. We take a hit, which hits our gun and ricochets, and now we're going to move out, and unfortunately, that was just bad timing. Just as we were on the move to get past, we get a little, because of the speed we're getting, we're not a very heavy tank. We take a little bump from the N103, which flies us into the water, but thankfully, we managed to save ourselves, and there's no Derp here today. But that did cost us 1,000 hit points, which is very, very sad. We're up to 6.5k damage, and the Sheridan is one that needs to die. He just needs to go. But the Type 80-2 drives out. It's like, well, okay, Mr. Type 80-2. Don't mind if I do shoot you. He's looking at me. I know that he can only see my gun. Obviously, I'm not going to test it and make sure that he can't see anything of me. So when I fired at him, I pulled back. But I knew that realistically, all he could see there was my gun, and he's not going to pen it. Actually, I don't want my gun to break. We get a nice shot there to shut down the Sheridan, which is great, because once he's gone, he's the gatekeeper, he was gone, we can now look at potentially moving forward to try and get some shots into the Magak, or try and get more shots towards the Type 80-2, and just take over the 9 line if we can. So now is the time to move forward. We're going to push up with this RDF LT. There's the Type 80 in front of us. Again, we can go hull down here. He can't see anything but my gun. We put one shot through his upper plate. He's now a one shot, so he has to be very, very careful. The 4211 up above us, though, that is scary. We go for the lower plate shot on the 4211, and it ends up ricocheting. Looking for that shot into his lower plate again, and it goes high and ricochets yet again. So we load the premium round so we can get the 505 pen in, so we can hopefully eviscerate this guy's armor. Go for that shot into the drive wheel, and unfortunately we ricochet off his side. FV4211s, am I right? Absolute troll to shoot. The 4211 starts looking towards us, so we pop smoke so that he can't get a clean shot at me, and that means that I can now move up to a better ridgeline, which covers me better and saves me from being shot at by that 4211. He's actually tracked on top of the ridgeline, which is great, which means we can aim up the shot, slap it straight through. Actually, that went through his upper plate and not even his lower plate. And yeah, now there's the 30B. We unfortunately missed the shot on the MX-30B. And now we're looking at a shot into the 4211. Unfortunately, again, it ricochets. The MX-30B is kind of one that I want to get rid of if I can, because obviously he's got the machine gun and it's not good. We can still see movement behind that tree, which is the 4211. We try and get a shot into his side, but it doesn't go anywhere near. The 4211 is charging there. We go for the upper plate shot, and the shell flies in, and high rolls. Beautiful scenes. And we get rid of that FV4211. We now got shots at the bandit that's charging, and then the MX-30B pops over. It's like, Mr. 30B, I don't want any of your brrrr. So we managed to pull back, get ourselves safe. He's starting to get brrrr by our own brrrr, which is not good for him. He's getting absolutely smashed. And there goes the 30B. We're up to 9.6k damage with 4 kills, 856 assistance, and the Tyran 6 is on our right. We try and get a shot into the Tyran 6. It misses. Sadly, the VTS1 is full health and charging towards us, so we try and get a shot in to track him. Unfortunately, we don't track him, and he is charging. He pops smoke, and I look at him and go, okay, we get a nice shot on the move, and I think, well, that guy's going to die now. Hopefully that RDF should shut him down. So we turn to get a shot into the Tyran, and we turn back around and go, hang on a minute, he's not dead. Oh no. Thankfully, he misses his shot at us on the move, and we finish him off. We swivel our gun back round to get the shot into the Tyran, which tracks him in place, and he gets shut down by the Brennus. And we finish the game with a really great total for the Marder VTS1. Finish the game with the victory. 5 kills, 11,731 damage, 1,791 assistance, ace tanker, the high caliber, the eagle eye for shooting more targets than anyone else, blind, or with true vision. Finished the game with 1735 base XP. A really great game there for the Marder VTS1, which is a really good tank destroyer. I mean, it says it's a light tank, but it's definitely a tank destroyer. It's a really good tank destroyer. It does what it does. If you like this kind of gameplay, this tank is a pretty damn nice tank to pick up. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.
A great success.